5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
To scratch and major itch. So enjoy your fruity pebbles, you yabba dabba bitch.
They've killed him! I'm CM Punk, and I am the voice of the voiceless.
Be the man. You gotta beat the man.
Woo, woo, woo. You know it.
I got okey doke by little Jimmy.
Live from the Pro Wrestling Report studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, this is Monday Night Meltdown with your hosts, Damian Nelson and David Hero.
I'm proud to say we're doing things the Vince McMahon way.
That's the bottom line. Why? 'Cause Stone Cold said so.
Bringing you all the latest news and views from professional wrestling, Monday Night Meltdown is on the air.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Matthew Thomas filling in for Damian Nelson tonight, joined alongside me as none other than David Hero on the first Raw after No Way Out. We're going to break it all down for you, and we want to know what you thought of the show tonight. Join us right now, actually, in the Blog Talk Radio chat room. The chat room is open, and we are ready to hear your thoughts. You can also follow us on Twitter at PWR Show, and we're also on Facebook at facebook.com/PWR Show. We're going to be going to the phone zone a little bit later tonight, so give us a call at 1-877-317-9772. Again, that's 1-877-317-9772 to give us your thoughts on Monday Night Raw tonight. It was a Raw that actually ended the same way quite a few Raws have been ending recently, with more interaction between John Cena and John Laurinaitis on a Raw that was what seems to be the end of people power, with John Laurinaitis tapping out to John Cena in the middle of the ring. A match that was billed as John Cena versus the Big Show, David Otunga and Johnny Ace, until both the Big Show as well as David Otunga walked out on Johnny Ace, which would ultimately result in John Cena with the victory over John Laurinaitis. And I got to say, man, it felt like it fell flat, like so many Raws have felt recently. And I think, and David, I want to get your thoughts on this, but it just seems like the picture that we are consistently painted is that whatever's going on with John Cena is your main event. You know, this entire year, it really feels like the WWE title, the World Heavyweight Championship, have all been relegated to just, I don't want to say the undercard, but like we saw tonight, you had one segment involving both the WWE title and also the World Heavyweight Championship, which was pretty much the opening match, not the opening segment per se, but the opening match. And once again, we get John Cena in the main event. I feel at times, David, like we're back to 2006, 2007, when it was John Cena all the time. Am I missing something here?
No, not at all. I mean, right now that's what it is. But you know what? Maybe the reason that is because the fans want to see CM Punk and Daniel Bryan Danielson on TV. So maybe by having them on earlier and leaving Cena, who pretty much is the tweener right now that they love and they hate at the same time, and he may turn viewers off, maybe that's why they're saving him for later in the show, because they want to get that big fan base, all the viewers in that first hour, hoping that they'll all stick around to see what else is going to happen. But I'm telling you, if I'm CM Punk, if I'm Sheamus, I'm getting a little frustrated because they're having the better matches each night, whether it be a house show, whether it be Raw, whether it be a pay-per-view, but they are not getting the same top billing as John Cena right now.
Oh, without a doubt. And when you step back and you look at the CM Punk title run on paper, you know, he picked up the belt again at Survivor Series, and it's been from Survivor Series November until now. It's been a lengthy run, and it really, you would think that, okay, they're giving him the ball to run with for a while, but when you really look at the way things have been structured for pretty much the entire year, every single pay-per-view, it seems like the spotlight has been involving Cena. Now, Cena rocked at WrestleMania with that year-long build. That was a different story. Then you went straight into Cena Brock, which, had some momentum on its own, but every month thereafter, it seems like not just the way that Raw goes off the air, but the main events of these pay-per-views, it's John Cena. And in a way, it seems like what that's relaying is that the most important thing that is happening with the WWE at any given moment now is not, it's not the titles, it's not, Punk, Sheamus, it's not involving the titles. It's whatever is happening with Cena is, that's the thing right there.
But at the end of the day, John Cena is the guy that sells the most merchandise. And yes, CM Punk is right up there with him, but still, John Cena sells the most. He's the guy that sells the tickets for the live events and the pay-per-views, but, it's a little bit different on TV because a lot of the fans like to tune John Cena out. And you know what? It's a different formula that they're using right now. I mean, if you go back to the 80s, I mean, even in the 80s, there were many times when Hogan was on before intermission to get him out of the building into the next town. That doesn't happen on house shows right now with John Cena. He is still there in the main event, the last match of the night.
Yeah, well, speaking of the WWE and the World Heavyweight Championship, as we referenced a little bit earlier, our opening match of the night was CM Punk and Sheamus versus Kane and Daniel Bryan, which I thought, David, was a good tag team match that got some time, and of course the main takeaway from this, we had AJ's music hits, and she comes to the ring in full Kane attire. Basically takes a lap around the ring and makes her exit with Kane running after her. And I, like a lot of people, thought that Kane being thrown into to the WWE title picture at No Way Out last night was kind of a one-off thing, but it seems like they may be going in that direction again.
Well, you know what? Yeah, they really are. I mean, and right now, Kane, I mean, who would have thought Kane would be right now working with the top guys on Raw and SmackDown, with Sheamus and DVD and Punk and everybody else and whatnot. I mean, he's been rejuvenated, and I think, if anything, he's been teaching these guys some new stuff. And, boy, I mean, now he gets paired up with AJ, who has all of a sudden become the hottest diva in wrestling, and everybody wants a piece of her, no pun intended. And, yeah, I mean, it's just amazing what the WWE machine and creative can do for a person's career.
Yeah, now, the thing that keeps coming back to me, though, it seemed like for a little while this summer might consist of a series of those pay-per-view matches between Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, and I can't help but feel like that's kind of gradually slipping away a little bit. And I wonder, David, from a booking perspective, how much of this Kane involvement do you think right now is being done because they're just a little afraid that those two guys, as much of a clinic as they can put on in the ring, might not be able to sell pay-per-views with just a CM Punk, Daniel Bryan billing?
And I think that's what the problem is. I'm still curious to see what the pay-per-view buy rates were when it was Punk versus Daniel Bryan one-on-one. I haven't seen it yet. I'm sure they've been released. But, nowadays they look at the buy rates and those quarter-hour ratings as almost gospel, and they try to tweak that as much as they can. And if they didn't do the numbers they were hoping for, that's why Kane is now into that program. Just brings a different dynamic. I don't know if it's good or bad. I think it keeps things the same, but it also keeps Kane busy because really, where else would Kane be right now? He'd be in a meaningless program with Sheamus on SmackDown, or he would just be doing more stuff with Zack Ryder, who the only time he gets on Raw is to stare at Vince McMahon.
Right. Absolutely. And speaking of pay-per-view build, we actually had a little progression on the road to SummerSlam tonight with Paul Heyman returning for basically a rebuttal to Triple H's challenge of Brock Lesnar that he issued last night on No Way Out. Heyman told us that Lesnar will, in fact, not drop his lawsuit against the WWE and will not, in fact, face Triple H at SummerSlam. We then had a Triple H intervention, basically, and he offers to put Brock Lesnar on the SummerSlam poster if he and Heyman agree to the match at SummerSlam. This basically would result in Heyman continuing to refuse, at one point telling Triple H that he had nothing for him, but that he did, however, have something for Stephanie. And it always goes downhill when you bring the guy's wife into it. This would eventually result in Triple H punching Paul Heyman and asking him to tell Lesnar that he would see him at SummerSlam. David, your thoughts on the Triple H Paul Heyman segment tonight?
You know, Paul Heyman did a fantastic job. I mean, both guys are tremendous guys on the mic. They both know how to cut a promo. They know how to get the fans to pay attention, how to listen. Two of the better guys in all of wrestling, and they're telling a story. It's unfortunate, though, that they're building up SummerSlam before even Money in the Bank comes, is here and gone. And I don't think that match needs really 2 months worth of build-up, but that's exactly what they're going to give it. It's just Triple H and Brock Lesnar, they're going to sell a lot of tickets. I mean, that match alone can headline SummerSlam without John Cena, and it should do very well as far as a buy rate. You just have to wonder what kind of politics in the back are being played between all the sides involved, because if Brock Lesnar come back to put over John Cena and then Triple H, if he's rumored to have a match with Undertaker at WrestleMania next year, you got to wonder what direction everyone's working in and who's working for who and who's trying to undermine somebody else.
The main thing, David, that stood out to me tonight watching this after Triple H issued the challenge last night at No Way Out, I think they've got, I can understand a couple of months' worth of build to it, but at the same time, it seems like right now they're building towards the actual signing of the match. And I don't think there's too many wrestling fans out there that are wondering now if the match is going to take place or not. I think that's kind of a foregone conclusion. But to me, it seemed like maybe a little bit more of an example of kind of putting the cart before the horse, because you're now going to have several weeks of build about whether the match is actually going to be signed or not, which, it seems like to most viewers that's a foregone conclusion. And the possibility of that, that part of the build becoming stale rather quickly is pretty likely.
Yeah, I mean, we all know it's going to get there. It's just what is going to be the A to B to C to D to get them there? How is the story going to take place? Do you really think Brock Lesnar truly cares enough about Paul Heyman to come and defend his honor because Triple H knocked him out? Not at all. So they've got to do something that's going to really call Brock out, and beating up Paul Heyman is not it.
Well, we want to find out what a few other members of the PWR show staff have to think about tonight's events. We're actually going to go to the social media diva Linda Kay right now to see. Linda, what were your thoughts on Raw tonight?
I thought it was a good Raw, especially following up the pay-per-view. My biggest highlight was what you guys have talked about, the Paul Heyman Triple H segment. Always great to see Heyman in the ring with the mic in his hand. Loved the build-up to Lesnar Triple H SummerSlam match. But, Dave, I do agree with you that it doesn't really need 2 months worth of build-up, but it was great to see the heated tension between Heyman and Triple H, with Triple H, of course, delivering the big blow. But, yeah, again, I thought Raw was really entertaining. Great to see Piper, Foley, Richter, and even Cyndi Lauper. A little nostalgia tonight. I like that.
Well, thank you so much, Linda. I don't think anybody really going into Raw expected to see Heath Slater get busted open at the hands of Cyndi Lauper. That was a pretty interesting little segment right there.
It may not have been what the fans wanted, but it was appropriate. I mean, Cyndi Lauper and Wendy Richter huge personalities in the build of the Rock and Wrestling Connection. They're the ones that really, got the ball rolling and made it a big, huge success. I just wish more of the people in the audience would have known what those two did for wrestling in the mid to late 80s, because they definitely set the bar high. They brought up the best in everybody. They got the great crossover appeal on MTV, and it's a shame. It actually drove me nuts to hear Michael Cole belittle and snicker and joke and laugh with those two ladies in the ring. It was unfortunate. And then to have Heath Slater come out, Damian Nelson's boy, the one-man rock band, get busted open hard way with that gold record. That was pretty amazing.
It was a sight to behold, no doubt about that. Well, we're going to take a little break right now, and when we come back, we want to hear what you guys thought of Raw tonight. Stay with us. Welcome back to Monday Night Meltdown. This is Matthew Thomas alongside David Hero, and we are getting ready to enter the phone zone and take your questions and comments on tonight's Raw. Meathead, who's up first?
Yes, sir. I think we've got, drumroll please, David from Michigan. David, go ahead.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
What's going on, David?
I got a comment about last night and a question. I didn't really think last night's No Way Out was worth the money I paid for it. It was an okay Raw, I think. For a Raw show, it was okay, but the tuxedo match was horrible, I thought. And like everyone did, I'm sure.
David, when have you ever seen a good tuxedo match?
Well, Lily Garcia, I guess, was kind of good.
Well, that's completely different. But I mean, I've never, ever seen a good tuxedo match.
Well, Santino and McCarthy should have been on the pre-show anyway, not the show.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is, do you guys think that if they don't do nothing else with Daniel Bryan right now, which I hope they do, is he going to be just pushed back to the mid-card again? Now you guys continue with the show?
Well, he got crushed last night, and he took two finishers and got completely laid out. But I guess that's the only way you could book it clean where his tag partner left him. I don't know. I mean, you know what? He was a non-factor in the finish last night. He got crushed tonight. He's just way too over to get pushed on the mid-card. I mean, he's far more over than Zack Ryder was. And, of course, they took Zack Ryder off TV, but I just can't imagine them taking, Daniel Bryan and pushing him down, considering who else right now is CM Punk going to be in a program with.
Thank you so much, David, for those comments. And, that was, I got to say, the finish to the WWE title match last night, David, was a surprise to me. With the addition of Kane, the way that looked to me from the start was, okay, they're going to let Bryan pin Kane or get some type of decision over Kane so that you can ultimately build the Punk versus Bryan. And the fact that that didn't happen was a bit of a surprise to me. So where they're going to with Daniel Bryan from here is it's anybody's guess at this point. And one thing too I wanted to throw in there about the tuxedo match last night, and David, I'll get your take on this, was, to me, it really seemed like the placement of the match kind of, forced a little bit of that reaction from the crowd that it got. I mean, I understand having something light in between a World Heavyweight Championship match and an Intercontinental match, but it seemed like having that second match in when you're still trying to build some momentum to the show, it really didn't seem to help the efforts any.
I really thought that match was going to be between Triple H coming out and the main event, or even between the WWE title match and the main event. But let's not forget, they also added 3 or 4 more matches. I mean, there were 9 matches last night on the pay-per-view. I can't remember a pay-per-view having that many matches, that was not a WrestleMania. So there was a lot of wrestling. They had a lot of matches. They had to make everything fit. And I guess if you look at it, would you rather have the Tuxedo match number 2 or Sin Cara versus Hunico for the 25 millionth time?
Right, and especially with the Sin Cara lights, if you lower the lights, second match in, you might put some people to sleep. So that's it's a valid point right there. Understand, we are going to another caller now.
Yep, and it's Kevin from Jackson, Mississippi. Kevin, go ahead.
How y'all guys doing this evening?
Hey, Kevin.
Well, I was another person. I didn't watch the pay-per-view because it was too predictable. I mean, almost every match was just like I thought. I just sit there and watch, read everything online. And by the way, Mr. Hero, the best tuxedo match was DiBiase and Duggan, UWF Mid-South days.
Ah, there you go. See, not many fans are old enough to recall those kind of great matches.
And see, that's another point to bring up. I had a little problem as we get through. WWE purchased the last of the greatest territorial of Bill Watts' wife last weekend. I was shocked to hear that nobody really talked about it. They purchased it from Watts' ex-wife, and that was the wrestling that got me started when I was a kid. So, Kamala, Sting, JYD. That's the best ever. If whoever's listening, if you don't believe the gospel of Mid-South, go look it up on YouTube. That was the best ever. McMahon could take notes, but I'm kind of intrigued what he's about to do in the future, and that's all I have this evening. Oh, Cena sucks.
You know what? Mid-South Wrestling, Matthew, I'm not too sure if you ever got a chance to see any of it, but back in the day, it was one-man gang, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ted DiBiase, Terry Taylor, Junkyard Dog. Some really, really good. Junkyard Dog sold out the New Orleans Superdome for a match. That's how popular Mid-South was back in the day.
No doubt, with the addition of that library into the WWE arsenal, certainly look forward to some of the DVDs and hopefully documentaries here that are going to come down the pipe in the hopefully not too distant future. And right now we're going to go to our next caller, Meathead. Who do we have?
We've got Tony from North Carolina. Tony, go ahead.
All right, fellas. How y'all doing?
What's going on, Tony?
When I seen Nick Foley in the ring tonight, it kind of threw me back to 2003, 2004 when they had all these guests, new commissioners. It seems like they're going that way right now. You probably see a whole lot of new people be commissioner for every Monday night and whatnot. It seems like the WWE going to go that way. See, don't got a commissioner they want to really put in that spot right now. And also, what are they going to do with Austin Kong? And then, what are they going to do with her? Did they let her go back to TNA? That they're not using her on television and not using her in the women's division? Why they just let her go? And since they're going to use her at all?
Well, it's only a matter of time before they bring back Austin Kong, and they're going to wait for the right moment. You know what? The last time we saw her was the Royal Rumble, but there really hasn't been a reason to bring her back yet. Right now, there's so much emphasis on AJ as far as the Divas that right now, if they bring her back, she might be overshadowed, believe it or not, by how popular and over AJ is. Or maybe Kong is the equalizer and she's the one that comes out and crushes AJ. Who knows? There's a reason for the madness, and you know what? I will sit and criticize or doubt or question whatever they're doing, but at the end of the day, they always seem to make it work. And I'm sure when Kong does make her debut, we'll be like, wow, that was the right time for her.
And as far as it pertains to Foley with the kind of the weekly GM role, I think it should be fun. I think it's a relatively safe move to make until they decide a direction they want to go into with the GM. I will say this much. I have enjoyed Laurinaitis in the role. I've enjoyed them building up him as a new on-screen character and kind of the evolution of somebody new in that role. I think that, bringing the weekly GMs in, it has the potential to be fun. It feels kind of safe at the same time, though, so it should definitely make for some interesting Raw and SmackDowns here for the next little while anyway. We have time for a few more callers this evening, and I believe we've got another one on the line right now. Who we got, Meathead?
Casey from Mobile, Alabama, baby. Casey, go ahead.
All right. Hey, gentlemen, how y'all doing today, man?
What's going on?
What's up, man?
I just got a real puzzling question for both of y'all. Since WWE was doing real horribly so far with the pay-per-view last night, and also mediocre with the Raw tonight, and you have the 100,000.
The 1,000th Raw.
Yeah, the 1,000 episode. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
If both of y'all had an opportunity to write that script, how would y'all write it, and who would be the main event for your show?
The 1,000th Raw, how would I write it? I just bring back all the legends and the stars from, the last 1,000 shows. I mean, you throw out all the storylines because they're not gonna. That one of those storylines is really gonna matter, because when you bring out guys like Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and I'm sure The Rock, and maybe Mike Tyson will be there, and Bret Hart and Roddy Piper, and you got to figure Ric Flair's going to probably even show up. Nothing else is going to matter, because it's going to be a big nostalgia show. It's going to be the feel-good moment of the year, and no matter what they write, it's not going to make one bit of difference.
Yeah, if you go into that show expecting a lot to develop storyline-wise, I think you're going to be disappointed. I think that 1000th Raw is going to be, like you said, David, a night of star power, a night that should be fun, not a very storyline, progression-heavy show. So I would urge to just go into it and expect a fun night of guys you've seen over the last couple of decades. And it's definitely a show that I think a lot of people are looking forward to. And I understand we've got one more caller left for the evening. Meathead, who's going to take us home?
Gabriel from New Jersey is going to take us home. Go ahead, Gabriel.
First off, it was great seeing a Dolph Ziggler victory tonight and the potential face turn. We can only hope for promising things ahead. It's always phenomenal seeing Paul Heyman back. The segment was going great, but then Triple H had to do what he does and be equal parts predictable and what he believes to be funny. I have to agree with Mr. Hero. I mean, it was pretty obnoxious, unnecessary, and at times annoying to hear Michael Cole talking and snickering during what should have been, a heartfelt moment, because it was paying homage to an integral part of wrestling history.
Absolutely. I mean, that for me, that was frustrating, and it's not very. I mean, listen, I sit next to Damian Nelson twice a week doing TV with him, and as annoying as he is, Michael Cole drove me absolutely nuts. I just thought, it was not the right time. Do it in your storylines. Do it when you're trying to, bash some of the talent. But, we all know, we have all heard that Vince McMahon feeds him lines through those headsets. And I just can't believe Michael Cole would do that without being pushed into that direction.
Gabriel, thank you so much for that call. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have time for this evening. Make sure to join us on Wednesdays and Saturdays for Prime Time, and also on Thursday nights live after Impact on Sudden Impact with Meathead and Dwayne Williams. For the man they call Meathead, for Linda Kay, for David Hero, for Damian Nelson, this is Matthew Thomas signing off. We'll talk to you soon.